Good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution, episode 1673. Hey, it's been a while. I don't think I went live at all this weekend. I know I didn't go live Sunday because I was at the card show. I didn't go live Monday because I was sleeping in. Is today Tuesday? I think today's Tuesday. I didn't go live Saturday. I think we went live. Did we go live Friday? I can't remember. I don't know. My schedule's way out of whack. That's okay because we're doing well on eBay Live. I've got a lot of topics I want to touch on today. eBay Live, Super Bowl Sunday, card shows, and PSA. And we kind of talk about all of these things. PSA we don't really talk much about, but you're gonna read about it. You're gonna listen to it. It's gonna be all over it's already all over your social media feeds if you haven't taken a look at Twitter or any of the other feeds, social media. That's predominantly where I'm at. And I've already, when I logged into YouTube, I saw already a few videos talking about the PSA news. So we'll dive into that today. What else is going on? That's about it. That's about my life. Card shows and eBay Live. PSA is not really a part, although PSA kind of is. Not really with this nugget, but so I think I'm sure I shared. If not, I definitely shared it on social media. I collect. Well, I don't collect. Well, I do. I own. I acquire. Some things I don't like saying I collect. Like I don't collect cards. I just acquire them. But I collect Cubs cards. I acquire wrestling magazines. I like to collect them, read them, and sell them. That's kind of like what I do with wrestling magazines. I don't hold none of them. I don't intend to hold any of them. But anyway, I bought a collection of wrestling magazines. If you're not familiar, about 2 months ago. It's something that I've always dabbled in. It's a fun resell for me. Now, let me preface reselling magazines. Don't do it. There's minimal money in it. And magazines are among the deadest of inventory that you can sell. Now with that said, there are certain magazines that you can sell and you can sell fairly quickly. Now I do okay with wrestling magazines. I'll sell an issue here and there. But it's certainly not, it's not going to go as smooth as cards or other things that you can resell. People are like, I have some Sports Illustrated magazines from the 80s. It's like, oh, you're sitting on dimes. You're sitting on a pile of dimes there, buddy. Wrestling magazines are pretty similar. Now there are some issues that, that carry more value, including what I'm going to talk about. So I bought this collection of wrestling magazines back in early December, I think, all from the 60s and 70s. And I got a really good deal. I paid $3 shipped. And it took, I think, 6 bankers boxes. So, I mean, shipping was in the hundreds. And I was still able to get, all of the issues for around $3 a piece. Now, the guy that I bought them from, I knew that because he reached out and he's like, after we made the deal, he's like, hey, I also have these wrestling cards, like NWA. And he's like, comps on these are X. So he knew what he was doing to an extent. But there are some wrestling magazines from the 1970s that have some rare trading cards. Now, magazines, especially in the modern era, the hobby doesn't consider a sports card a trading card if it came from a magazine. Now, back in the pre-war era, that was a case, strip cards and similar. But not the case, especially as you get into the 70s. And there's probably some like the Dell stamps, I guess, would be similar to an extent. So there's a couple issues in the 1970s from wrestling magazines that have what are in wrestling card circles and PSA considers trading cards. So I did not expect to have my intention on buying this collection was these are magazines I've never owned. I'm going to flip through. I enjoy reading. It's good content on occasion to post on social media, some of the ads or just different articles that are in, like how things have changed in 50, 60 years. But I didn't expect this collection to have the cards. So I went through one of the boxes and I looked up to make sure, what do the covers look like that have these cards? So I went through one of the boxes that had, a lot of the 1973 issues. Wasn't in there. Now, I had, I think, 6 bankers boxes. I didn't go through the others. I kind of flipped through when I got them just to make sure, everything was there and just kind of do an inventory. But I didn't really look into it. So for 2 months, these boxes of wrestling magazines just sat. I did list a few, and I've sold. I mean, I don't know what my sell-through rate on those. There's still several in my store, but I've sold, a handful. More than I expected to sell based on how many I had listed. So I, about 2 weeks ago, I decided to go through the rest of the boxes and actually get them sorted. And I've got kind of a side project around this that I'm just kind of working on the back end. So I start sorting through, and all of a sudden I see the magazine, 1973 Wrestling Annual. I look inside. Surely the trading cards have been pulled out, and they're not like perforated. It's basically a page of a magazine, and it's got, 9 or 12 photos on the front, and on the back it has like information. They're there. And guess what's there? The Andre the Giant. It's the Andre the Giant rookie card. Now, I don't trust myself to cut these. And now this is something I've been looking into over the last several days. How am I going to get these cut out? Like, surely there's got to be a business that does professional cutting. There are. However, I've learned that they won't do magazines. I reached out to the first place I looked into was Michael's Craft Store. And it's just down the road. It's like I can just pop in and I can take the issue, and so I didn't even have to I didn't even have to tell them what I was looking at. I just walked up to the counter and I'm like, "Do you guys do professional cutting?" And they're like, "No, we can't." And I'm like, that was a hard no. Like, no, we don't want to take on the liability. I'm like, "Oh, okay." That answers that. Somebody had mentioned, I don't know where it was, but somebody had mentioned print shops, which I never even considered. So I reached out to a couple print shops, one that I've done business with. They're like, "Yeah, we do professional cutting." And then when I explained what I was looking for, we probably wouldn't do that. I'm like, okay. I reached out to another one. They're like, "No, we don't do that." Then I'm like, I'm trying to think like, God, now I'm just going to have to like somebody off the street. I'm like, "Hey, you know how to use a pair of scissors?" Like, that's where I'm at now. It's like, do I have any friends that are surgeons? I'm like, I don't think so. Like, I reached out to my buddy Matt from 5 Star. He does the group submissions to PSA. I'm like, he does like, he'll like wipe cards down, and like I bet he handles stuff like this. So I sent him a message last night. He's like, "Nah." He's like, "You'll probably have to go to a custom framing shop or something." I'm like, all right, that's pretty much what everybody else has told me. And I don't even know if at this point they will do it. So I'll keep looking around for other options if I'm taking any options. So if there's anybody that you can think of that would do something like this, let me know. The last PSA 10. So a PSA 9, Andre the Giant, 1973 PSA 9, sold at Golden last February for 70. I think it was 7,100. A PSA, was it a PSA 5, sold for I think 3,000 on eBay. There's been some PSA 7 sales. So, I mean, and I've looked, and I printed off like what the PSA 9 looks like, because I want to make sure it has like, I want to cut it like this. Like I can't tell the difference between I can't tell the difference between a 9 and a 5. Like the 5 and the 9 look the same. Like I have no idea. The magazine, I don't want to sell the whole magazine because I can sell, so I can do even a 5. A 5 will sell for more than what the magazine will sell for. A whole magazine sold recently for $2,500 with the cards. So that's what my wife said. She's like, just sell the whole magazine. I'm like, no, then I'm losing out. I mean, I can just grade I can get them all cut out and I'll probably grade most of them. Oops, I'm in the wrong screen. Where's the research? There we go. So it's definitely worth the hassle of trying to find somebody to cut them out. All right. So this is eBay. This is Terapeak. I'm just going to sort highest to lowest. So the one sale was on Golden. That was the 9. So a PSA 9 sold in May on eBay for $6,100. PSA 9 sold in May. Wait, there's 2 different sales on the same day. Are those the same? That's not going to let me look. Oh, wait, I can't. 801. Oh, 802, 801 and 802. So somebody had multiple magazines. So 2 different ones sold on May 11th last year. 2 different PSA 9s. One was 5,100. One was 6,100. Yeah, and then you have to go back to like 2020. Oh, there's 2024. 7 sold for 1,300 back in 2024. So yeah, still looking. If you have any question or any suggestions, let me know. So that's been a part of my what I've been working on here lately. Let's go to the chat. Lots to talk about today. Gem City says, good morning. Where we at? Cody's in the house. What's up? Good morning. I still don't feel 100%. Like yesterday I know why I was super tired yesterday, because I was up until like 1:30 Sunday night. I streamed until 12:30 Super Bowl Sunday. And then, kind of like when I was broadcasting sports, when I was doing play-by-play, like you can't just when you're talking, like consistently talking for hours and getting it sometimes, and the emotions like, oh, I just sold a Kenneth Walker for $74. Like there's excitement when you're doing play-by-play on a basketball game and there's an exciting finish. Like there's adrenaline, and it's hard to slow that down to go to bed. Kind of like eBay Live, very similar to doing play-by-play. But I feel better. I mean, this has been like, I was still congested this morning. This shit's been going on for over 2 weeks now, and I'm sick and tired of it. Can't wait to, although we're supposed to hit, I think 40 degrees today. I actually walked outside this morning. I'm like, damn, it's warm. It's 32 degrees. It's freaking warm outside. I think we're going to hit in the 50s at some point in the next week or so. Orlando, what's going on? Good morning. Jamie's in the house. What's up? As you know, I have those 1971 Topps coins. Would you recommend listing them myself or through a consignor? That's something I would just list yourself. I would definitely list those yourself. Although if you go through like DC Sports, if you go through a consignor, you're taking, I don't know. I mean, if I shouldn't be so decisive on that answer. If you're not, here's my suggestion. If you're not used to selling things and if you don't have much of a selling history on this, just to use eBay because it's the easiest, I would send to like DC Sports because the payouts are pretty high. In fact, I think the payouts might be less than what you would do on eBay. So if you're not used to selling, like I just send them to DC. Like I know a lot of people that just send their stuff to DC Sports. And it runs through auction. So, I mean, but they're the highest volume seller on eBay. So I mean, that would be something to consider. I would take it to someone like DC Sports 87 on eBay. They are the largest by volume. There's definitely like positives and negatives to going through, just using DC for an example. It is going to auction. So the downside is it's going to auction. So it may undersell comps. However, DC Sports also has, the most eyeballs. Gosh, what do they have on, let's see, DC Sports 87 eBay. I mean, I bet they have hundreds of thousands of followers. 141,000, which that's 141,000 followers. That's a pretty good number. I have 8,000. So they've got a pretty big audience. So that's the upside. The downside is, it's auctioned. The upside is they have probably among the most eyeballs on eBay. And you don't have to deal with shipping it. You just have to ship it to them and they'll handle that process. So you don't have to pick, pack, and ship. And you're getting about what you would get on eBay. So that's the thing. And you're getting it right away. Like once you send it there, it's going to auction pretty quickly. You don't have to sit on it. If you list it yourself as a buy it now, can you make more money? Possibly, but it may take a year. And you're going to, if you got a whole bunch of them, it's just going to be, sprinkling here and there. I don't know if you have the complete set or not, but this takes me, I just want to talk about this before I forget. I was at my buddy Craig's table at the Janesville Card Show on Sunday, and he had somebody walk up and had complete sets from, I think, the 70s and like vintage complete sets. And I think Craig had mentioned, I wasn't really paying attention to the conversation, but I think it was to the point of break them up and sell the singles. Like if you have a 1970, what set were they talking about? I can't remember what set, because I did hear bits and pieces and I heard him say, take out the key rookies and like the Nolan Ryan. I don't know. Let's just use 75 for an example. Like 75. Actually, it was 75 because it was Robin Yount and Robin Yount and George Brett. So it was 75 top set. And it's like, you can sell that as a complete set, but you're probably going to get more by taking out the singles, and you'll be left over with other cards. Now, there's upsides and downsides to that as well. And then, so that's when Craig, looked at me and he goes, hey, if you had a complete set of 1975 tops, what would you do with it? And I said, oh, I'd sell singles. And he goes, you'd break it up. So I think the guy was like, he was resistant to breaking a setup because it's a complete set. In a lot of non-collectors or people that are not really into the hobby, they think, oh, it's a complete set. They think a complete set is so valuable. No, it's not. And that I think that's one of the most common misconceptions of non-collectors is that I've heard it so many times. I've got a 1989 Topps complete set. I'm like, oh, nice. No, it's sealed. It's complete and it's not even been touched. Oh, that's not very nice. Good for you. Good night. That's nice. That's nice. That's good. Put that in the closet. Save it for your grandkids. I think that's a big misconception that the complete sets are more valuable than the sum of the. Is it the sum of the parts? The sum of the parts is more. So I think Craig, he goes, you just bought a 1986 Fleer basketball set. What are you going to do with it? I'm like, I'm selling every single card. I'm breaking that thing up. I bought another complete set this weekend on Heritage. I bought a 1961 Topps baseball set. Guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to break that fucker up. That's what I do. The set breaker. So break that shit up. That was just something that randomly I was next to at the card show on Sunday. Yeah, I want to break that shit up. Speaking of Sunday, this coming Sunday, 1986 Fleer basketball complete set. We're breaking that shit up. eBay Live. Dollar starts. Am I crazy? Probably. Dollar starts 86 Fleer. That includes the Michael Jordan, which is it's probably at the bottom because I listed it first. Michael Jordan SGC 5.5 going up on eBay Live this Sunday during the All-Star game. Dollar starts. 10 of the set is slabbed. Dominique's an 8.5. The Jordan sticker got a 5. Wah wah. Let's see. The Magic Johnson is the highest grade. It got a 9. The Hakeem rookie got an 8. Larry Bird got an 8. Barkley got an 8. The Jabbar did not get slabbed. And the Jabbar's probably, as I looked through quickly, the Jabbar is one of the I would say among the rest of the set, among the worst condition. The Jabbar didn't get graded. The Karl Malone's not graded. Who else is in there that I'm missing that's not slabbed? But there's 10 of them are slabbed. The rest is raw. I've got those 10. The 10 slabs are up. The stream is scheduled. Those 10 slabs are listed, so you can take a look at those. I want to get possibly today, well, probably going to be tomorrow. I'm going to get the rest. I'm going to get a breakout Card Dealer. It's been a while since I've used Card Dealer Pro, but I'm going to use my scanner Card Dealer Pro and scan the rest of the set. So I have the entire set scanned in ahead of the weekend. Also, Thursday, we're going to run this Thursday on eBay Live. We're going to run a bunch of 60s post serial cards. The Mickey Mantle, Roberto Clemente, Sandy Koufax, Hank Aaron, Willie Mays, Ernie Banks, all of those, 1961, 62, 63. There's a couple short prints in there. None of the really big short prints. I think like the Wes Covington, Kurt Flood. I think there might be a couple more of the short prints. The Roger Maris and the Mickey Mantle that are from Life magazine. And they're oversized cut, so you can, if you can find somebody to cut, those. They could potentially be high grade. So that's this Thursday night, and I've got a handful of those already uploaded to the Thursday show. I am going live tonight. I think it's scheduled for 7, but I might push that to 7:30. So tonight I've still got a bunch of stuff left over. I did a lot of buying last week. Got a box in from my buddy Chris. Jackson did damage at Oak Creek. I did damage at Janesville. I still got some stuff from Bonsai from last Wednesday. Gosh, what else did I buy? Trying to think. I thought there was that stuff. So I'm not sure what the plan is. I do have some stuff. Jackson's going to be at the Waukesha show for me on Saturday. So I'll have stuff for that next week. And then the Madison Card Show is Saturday, less than 2 weeks away, Saturday, February 21st at the Alliant Energy Center. It's going to be our last show at the Alliant until no pauses because I don't want people to, it's your last show at the Alliant. No, we won't be back at the Alliant until July, the show right ahead of the National. So, and that's just due to scheduling. The Alliant is very busy in the spring. So they did not have any available dates, March, April, May. And they had some dates in May. They actually had some dates in May and June and maybe even in April. But they were like, it just didn't work with the schedule we want to keep. So instead of just being all over the roadmap with it, we're just going to stick to a fairly consistent schedule on weekends where it's either going to be the third or fourth weekend. It's typically always been that way. I think there's been 1 or 2 months in the last 5 years where I've had to run a second Saturday, the second weekend of a month, just based on limitations on the schedule. But for the most part, ideally, I like to be that fourth weekend. But sometimes it's going to be the third weekend. I think this year, how does it work out? I had a Post-it note somewhere with all my dates. I don't know, but I think it works out. This month is, I think this month might be the third. The 28th would be the last Saturday. So this is the third weekend. March We're only doing a Pokemon show at the hotel. That's the last weekend. April is the last weekend. I believe May is the last weekend. Where are we at in June? June might have been one of those. Oh, actually, September, I think, we're right in the middle of the month. It's either the second or third Saturday of September, and that's because neither venue had open dates. So anyway, go to MadisonCardShow.com. I do still have a couple tables left. Funny thing about the Madison Card Show for February this month, the Pokemon, we're back to like mid 2025, where Pokemon is back to selling out faster than sports. I think every Alliance show until this month, I have had a waiting list for sports before the Pokemon room sold out. This time, the Pokemon room sold out quickly. And I think I still have one table open in the sports room. Go to ontreasure.com and I can actually, let me show you. If you haven't been, it's I have a love-hate relationship with On Treasure. I've got a call with them later this week because it's been the mapping has been inconsistent on my end. Shouldn't be on your end, should be okay, but my end is a bitch. So we're gonna jump on a call. So I want to share the screen. If you haven't looked at it, now you have. This has been something I've really wanted as part of the show for a long time, where you can see the map. Not only can customers see the map, but also I don't have to deal with mapping myself. So here's the sports room. Yeah, table 70 back in the back. Table 70 is open. Pokemon room is completely sold out. Up front, we are down to just a few tables. You can be with 5-star. This is right at that's the money gate. This is the first booth right there. So those two tables are open. This booth is open, and then that table. So next week, if this booth hasn't sold by early next week, we're just going to sell those as individual tables. So just a few tables left for the February show. There's a look at the map. Now you can also let's do this. So that's when that's the table selection. So if it's bright red, you can select and you can buy that table. So let's just go here. Are we still sharing the screen? I think so. So now if you're coming to the map, so this is the On Treasure map. So you can actually click and see, like, and I love that when dealers do logos. So here's the slab, connect and collect. So they took this sports and non-sports trading cards ranging from $1 to $1,000 plus, autographed memorabilia and photographs. So over here, we've got Four Eyes Collectibles. They do Pokemon in one piece. Up here, we've got Betos, Pokemon One Piece, and Funko. Ooh, Funko Pops. I didn't know those were still a thing. Romans Collectibles and memorabilia. So let's go see. I think we got our buddy Nick's got a logo over here. Check that out. Budden's Cards, Modern Graded, and another table with all quarter cards, which is a popular spot in the room. So there you go. Over here in the Pokemon room, Max needs a logo. MD Sports Cards and Gaming. That's our buddy Max over there. So there you go. That is On Treasure. Where are we at? Gem City says, Bo, does the ABLs always be looking? That's it. That's the secret to finding good stuff. It is. And how do you find stuff? You know what to look for. Knowing what to look for, just as important as always be looking. Kind of like those wrestling magazines. Know what you're looking for, identify it, and look. And especially on something like those magazines, like that's something people like. I've just got a bunch of old wrestling magazines and have no idea that the value is there. They throw them in a collection. The collection I bought, I didn't even know it was in there until 2 months after I had them. I'm like, oh, hey, this is a nice little surprise. Mark, good morning. There you go. Mark says a 10 is like $125K. I wonder what the this is something I was going to look at. That I wanted to do this yesterday and I forgot. I want to look at the pop report. is this going to be? Perfect. All right. So Andre the Giant, there's only 4 PSA 10s. There's 33 nines. Wow. So they give it a, wow. I think the highest pop count is a 9 on that. That's good. 27 8s, 7 7s, 5 6s, 4 5s, 1 3, 2 2s, and 1 1. How about that? Only 86 graded on that Andre the Giant. Let's see. So let's look at PSA 10 counts. There's only 89 PSA 10s of the entire, how many are there? I think there's 32 or 36. There's 36. So there's Lars Anderson, there's 3 PSA 10s. Red Bastien, there's 4. 0 Bobo Brazil PSA 10s. 0 Jack Briscoe. 2 The Bruisers. 1 Bull Bolinski PSA 10. Haystacks Calhoun has 0 10s. And I wonder if these are because they're on the outside, like on the corners maybe. Edouard Carpentier has 0. The Crusher has 1 PSA 10. 0 for Fred Curry. Dom DiNucci has 1. The Destroyer has 1. Cowboy Bob Ellis, 0. Pampero Firpo, 0. Dory Funk Jr. has 1 PSA 10. Vern Gagne has 5. Andre the Giant has 4. Rene Goulet has 1. Mighty Igor has 4. Don Leo Jonathan has 1. Paul Jones has 5. Killer Kowalski has 2. The Big Cat Ernie Ladd. Big Cat Ernie Ladd has 1. Joe LeDuc has 1. Mil Mascaris has 5. Ooh, Chief Wahoo McDaniel, 7 PSA 10s. 3 for the Great Mephisto. 6 Pedro Morales. 3 Victor Rivera. 4 Bill Robinson. 5 Ricky Romero. 3 Ray Rougeau. 3 The Sheik. 4 Manny Soto. 4 Stevens. 4 Strongbow. So there you go. 1973. I got to cut it. John says, can we just please get to name that player? Jamie says, maybe contact Golden. They might be interested in the magazine and they have resources galore. That is something that maybe I do reach out to Golden and be like, because they have a history of selling this. And if they could find somebody to cut it that knows what they're doing, because I don't know if I want to, because like my thought process was, do I want somebody at Michael's to cut this? Like, I spent years chopping lines out in the back lounge of a tour bus. I'll cut your non-sports cards for you. Gem City says, contact Kurt with Kurt's Card Care. FedEx, Kinko's, print shops, Staples should offer this service. It goes back to like the mic. Do I want just some rando working part-time at Kinko's or FedEx or Michael's to do this? That's what I was hesitant to go to Michael's. I don't know. He doesn't cut and trim, but I bet he would have an idea of who to contact. Scott's in the house from sunny California. Max says, how was Janesville for you? Dad said you were there, but I was busy for 7 hours straight, so I didn't see it. Yeah, man, it was packed. Janesville Sunday, Janesville Card Show. Let's get into it. Card shows are packed everywhere, which is not surprising because every year that I've ran the Madison Card Show, January, February have been by far the most heavily trafficked card shows that I've had. So that's not surprising, but the amount of people, like it just continues, like all shows, it just continues. And we're seeing just massive, we're starting to hear, like I'm starting to hear about complaints nationwide from people complaining about, oh, it's the rooms are too small. And guess what? We go back to, you're going to pay. I think people were complaining about it on Hobby Hotline. It's like, well, you know what you do? If there's too many people, you move to a bigger venue. And guess what happens when you move to a bigger venue? You raise the prices, or you keep it at the same venue and you just charge. If it's a free admission show, charge $3, $5, $10, whatever. It's kind of what we're going to talk about at PSA in a little bit. So, like if you don't like it, don't go. Kind of like the Super Bowl halftime show. We're going to talk about Super Bowl. If you don't like the halftime show, don't watch it. Nobody's forcing you to watch it. It's okay to have an opinion, but choose something different. If you don't like it, I didn't want to watch Kid Rock. I'm not going to turn on whatever that was. I don't know Bad Bunny's music, but it was entertaining. So we'll talk about Super Bowl a little bit. So the Janesville Card Show was great. It was a little frustrating at first because it was packed, which is a good thing. So I had to, I couldn't get to the table. I didn't get there on time. I got there, probably 9:30, 10 o'clock. So it's already an hour into the show. So that's the benefit to setting up is, you get a 2-hour head start, but, you don't have to deal with the crowds for a couple hours, but, so I wasn't able, like, Jennings, I wanted to get right to Jennings. But like he had I think he had 3 tables maybe, like, and it was when I first got there, like there wasn't a spot to get in. So, I just had to walk around. My buddy Scotty P was actually right next to him. So I was able to grab some slabs from him. And then I just kind of weaved in and out. I didn't even see every table because, the time that I did spend, I was buying stuff, looking through stuff. So I just kind of hopped around, just to get it, but I did well. I was really happy with what I bought, the value that I got. I bought from how many, I just had the total amount that I had, from what I spent from the vendors, but Brock had great prices on stuff. And I'm like, this is perfect. Oh my God, this is perfect for eBay Live. And his prices were great. So I don't have, I probably lost a few bucks on some stuff, but I know I made money on stuff. I haven't ran let's see, what's this? Here's some of the stuff I bought. So a Beckett, a BGS 8 Griffey, he had 130 on the sticker. I didn't pay sticker. Call it 120, 115. That's probably something, depending on when I run it, it's probably a break even. I'll probably end up selling it for 120, but if I ran it tonight or tomorrow night, it'd probably only sell for 90 to 100. If I wait till the weekend, I can probably get to 120, 130. LeBron James rookie year, PSA 9. This is probably one of the best deals I got. Gale Sayers 72 tops for 20, and I probably paid 20 for that. PSA 9 Kobe. This is something that I even told somebody, they were asking me like eBay Live, what do I buy? What sells? And that was something I'm like, the Griffey, I break even or lose money on. Same with the Kobe, I probably break even on. Probably say I paid 40 to 45 on that, and that's probably what it'll sell for. And then a Shaq rookie, a PSA 9 Shaq rookie at 30. This is something I'll make money on. So I'll make good money on the Gale Sayers. I'll make good money on the Shaquille O'Neal. Maybe I break even on the others. But that's stuff people want. And the whole point is to attract people in. Now, do I want to just run a whole show, 200 cards of PSA 9s and 10s of stuff I'm going to lose money on? No. But when you can throw a Kenneth Walker rookie card on Sunday during the Super Bowl and it sells for $74, you can afford to take some chances and build up. And hey, I made enough to buy a 1961 Topps complete set on my Super Bowl sales. And my Super Bowl sales were predominantly Seahawks and Patriots dollar cards. So that's, and you just keep doing that. So Janesville was good. Janesville was great. It was busy as all get out. Not surprised that Mike and John put on great shows. Janesville has always been good to me, especially as a buyer. It's been, for me as a seller, it's been hit or miss as a bargain box dealer. But man, bargain boxes were getting hit hard in Janesville on Sunday. But it didn't give me, and even with that said, gave me no reason to want to set up at card shows again. I'd rather be on the other side buying than selling. Although I do like that 2-hour advance to dig through other vendors' dollar boxes before the show opens. Jamie says, I have no selling history. So my advice would be send it to DC Sports. That would be my advice. Or knowledge. Even, okay. That's more important. No knowledge, definitely send it to DC Sports. I have no, I have no connection to DC Sports. I don't know them. I've never used them. I've bought from them a few times. But I do know people that love using them. In fact, one of the guys that I bought from at the Janesville show on Sunday, he sends stuff to DC every week, and he's been doing it for years. And he cannot say enough good things about the results and the service that they provide. So that's years of him using them. I mean, I remember him talking about it 3-4 years ago, sending stuff off to DC. And I'm like, I'm not sending stuff off to a consignor. I'll do that myself. But yeah, I would definitely recommend DC is a great consignor, and they've got, a ton of eyeballs. Gem City says, I don't think they take vintage card coins like that, but that might have changed. Look into that. Yeah, definitely look into that. I don't know what they do take and what they don't take. Not the complete set. I have 55. Brock, there he is. What's up? This is the guy that I bought the Griffey and the Kobe and the Gale Sayers. Thank you for the deal. Sold you the Shota Caleb Shaw. Yeah. So I showed off. So the cards that I just showed off, I will sell those, but I'm keeping these Shota rookie, or not rookie, Shota auto patch number to 75, and Matt Shaw rookie auto. I've been picking a lot of Matt Shaw up. Matt Shaw's been a good value. And I think part of the reason is because they signed Alex Bregman. And so now Matt Shaw is just going to be kind of a rover. He's going to play multiple positions. And I think that's probably hurting his value, but I'm all for it. I think Matt Shaw is going to be a really good player in baseball, in Major League Baseball. So I'll pick up those autos on the cheap. So thank you, Brock, for the deal. Porter and Son, what's going on? Good morning. You caught me live. John says there's people that had to stand still for 30 minutes in a grass costume to make $50 at the Super Bowl. Don't act like selling on eBay Live is a strenuous gig, Snowflake. It's not a strenuous gig. It's tiring, though, when you don't go to bed till 1:30. But hey, if the money is at midnight, I'm going until midnight. When I started selling on eBay Live, it's like, no, I want to be done by 10 p.m. because that's my bedtime. And quickly I learned a lot more money can be made after 10 p.m., especially on the weekend. So guess what? We completely change our sleep schedule, and I'll stay up past midnight and stream if the room's still full. And I even say that, I'm like, if we dip below 30 people, I'm just going to end the show. Like if it's past 11 o'clock and the bids stop coming in, the room's smaller, we're just going to cut it. And we haven't had to cut it. And a lot of times when I've said that, we've gone over 100 people at midnight. It's crazy. I didn't have the volume of viewers on Sunday night, but I had the people bidding. It was insane. Probably past 11 o'clock, I probably had, I can't remember what the numbers were, but 50 to 60. But it was still stronger. Sales were stronger than what I've had at 100 plus in a room. So that's good. I care more about what the dollar signs are than the viewer counts. Although I do want the viewer counts to be up. I want both to be up, but at the end of the day, it's the dollar signs that are more important. Biggest sellers on eBay doesn't mean best prices. Greg Morris has that part of the market cornered. No logo needed. Keep marketing to zero. I mean, ChatGPT 0. You can just type in ChatGPT, create a logo. Porter says, how much did your Maravich rookie sell for? I sold 2 of them. I can probably look it up. I honestly can't remember. I ran one just recently. And then I ran one as part of I did a high number set break, and then I did a full set break. Paid and shipped. Item title, Maravich. I think both of them. Okay. So the first one I sold back on November 12th. Wow. It sold on November 12th. It wasn't delivered until December 1st because it had to go through authentication. So that was a PSA 4, and that sold for $385. My raw copy that I sold recently on January 13th. So it's been a month ago. I did the high number set break. That sold for $310, which both went. I was hoping the PSA 4. I was kind of hoping it would get to 400, but I was happy with $385. And then the raw, I was hoping to get 3, and it went for $310. So happy with that. So $310 on the raw, $385 on the PSA 4, which are basically, I think, probably right around comps on both of those. If I remember correctly, the PSA 4 was right in that $350 to $450. There it kind of varied. There were multiple sales on the PSA 4. John says you should have a lottery for tables to make it fair for all the dealers who are frozen out. It's the right thing to do. You want a professional archivist or something working on it. Oh, that's something I didn't think about. Porter says just have Michael's UPS store staples bid for the honor of cutting your product. They'll be like, who? Raise table fees. Don't make the attendees bear the burden of your success. Red lights in the house. Good morning. Brock says, just bought your last sports table. First time setting up at your show after always wanting to. Looking forward to it. Awesome. Awesome. I will definitely be hitting your table and looking to buy some more. Porter says, even with 800 plus eBay followers, I'd still send my high-end auction items to DC. An 80% payout from them would still beat my sale price. Yeah. I mean, DC, I don't know what stuff goes for. I mean, I've bought from them on occasion. I don't know what their stuff typically. I don't buy enough from them. I've never sold with them, so I don't know. Max says, imagine a world where standing still in a costume is more difficult than actually working. Explains a lot, actually. Zach says, are you going to go live after the Super Bowl, or are you still trying to space out going live with the Pro Bowl so as not to interfere with the audience overlap? Mark is in the house. What's going on? Porter says, hello, John, Max, Zach. It's been a while. Max says, the attendees are the ones complaining it's too busy. If you want change, you bear the brunt of the change. Absolutely. The attendees are complaining about the change. Well, or about it's too busy. Well, guess what? If you don't want it as busy, pay. That was a free admission show on Sunday in Janesville. And the way it's set, well, I don't know if it's set up. That's the first time I went. And I think it kind of rotates based on the hockey. It's a hockey rink also. So Max, I don't know if Max, were you at the other show? I think this was the second show. And I think, I don't know if any of the, Brock was there also. I don't know if Brock was at the first show. But I don't know what the situation is. How, if I haven't talked to Mike and John about it, but I think, yeah, if shows are this busy, start charging a fee a la PSA. Let's just dive into PSA real quick. PSA, I just saw, I think this was like a late night news dump or something, or very early morning news dump. So PSA is raising prices and extending the times. Let's see. I saw a post on this. I'm sure there's plenty, or I saw a bunch of posts on this. All right. Let me make sure this is the one I saw. All right. That's not what it was. All right. So let's share this tab. All right. So this is so PSA raising their submission prices and the turnaround times are extended. Value bulk is going up $3. Value is going up $5. Value plus is up $5. Value max is up, what is that? $5. Regular is up $5. So basically a $5 increase across the board, with the exception of value bulk, only $3. Turnaround times, 5 additional days across the board. And of course, everything is estimated. So that's what you do. If there's too many people at a card show, you either, if there's too much demand for tables, you raise table prices. If there's more demand than supply from a dealer standpoint, you raise table prices. Because that tells you it's a good show. People want to be at that show. If there's too many people and people are complaining that it's too crowded, well, you charge an admission or raise your admission prices. That's how you combat these complaints. Well, I can't get into the show. Well, okay. Well, we're just going to weed out the people that don't want to pay the higher price. Like, I'll pay $100 for a table. All right. Well, we're going to raise the table prices to $100. And those that don't want to pay, I get it. To some people, it's not worth it. It's kind of like the premium tables in the middle, $175. Some people don't want to pay that price. Some people do. The buyers definitely want to pay. I want to be right up front, because if that whatever it is comes to the door, I want to buy it. I want to be the first one that gets their eyes on this collection or this Kaboom or Downtown or Jordan rookie card. I want to be the first there. So that's what you do. That's how capitalism works, and I'm all for it. I don't really grade with PSA very often. I think I look through this through the business lens. It's smart. What are people complaining about? People are complaining about the turnaround times. Well, they're raising prices and extending the turnaround times. They have to. Because there's too much, there's too many people. Too many people are sending stuff in. So you raise the prices, and now you've got to think, is it worth it for me to send this 1991 Fleer Ultra Jose Canseco? And that's, years ago, that was Luis Robert and who else? Gavin Lux. Everybody was sending in Gavin Lux and Luis Robert base rookie cards to get graded. God, there's a glut of them. I own like 50 of each at one time. So you raise the prices. There's too much coming in, and they don't have enough time. Like, well, we have to extend the business days. So that's, hey, what I'm doing at the hotel shows. The hotel shows have become a lot of work for me, and it's become a pain in the ass, more so than the convention center. So I am decreasing the amount of tables, and I'm raising table prices. So tables were $60. Now they're going to be $75, starting with the March show, the March Pokemon show. Tables are going to be $75 each. And part of that is because it's that show is work, and it's work that's like, if I'm going to put in this much work, I want to see a certain margin that I make on it. It is a business. But also I want to cover I'm losing 20 tables. That's what, $1,200. I want to cover that price. And I want to make it worth my while because of the work that I put into that show. On the other hand, the convention center, that's just a lot of money that it costs to run that show. So that's where it has to be. And then don't even get me started on the parking situation. I'm people that complain about the parking at the Alliant. Hey, guess what? There's not a single person that is more pissed off with the parking situation than me, the promoter of the show. I fucking hate the goddamn parking situation that we have there. And unfortunately, it's not going to change anytime soon. There's going to be some months where it's going to be paid for, but then that's why I raised the prices, because I have to pay for all the dealers. And now I'm probably going to pay for everybody's parking on certain shows and hopefully I see that in the people. I know people don't come if they have to pay $10 to park, but I can get that money back if I pay for everybody's parking. I get a discounted rate based on the head count. But if I can bring more people in, if I can bring another 500 adults into the show at $5 a head, that counters the the fees that I'm paying on a per head basis for the parking situation. So it's a bitch, man. Where are we at? So I think that's all I wanted to talk about PSA. I just wanted to bring it up, talk about it. I get it, and I think it's smart because if PSA doesn't do something now, if they don't increase prices and don't do turnaround times are just going to get longer and longer and longer. And so if you got to bitch about something, I guess. It's like, Jesus. Let's see. Where are we at? I think I missed a few. Where are we at? Zach says, hi, Porter. I can't stay long, but wanted to make sure I wasn't wasting my money on my membership here. There you go. Max says, I was in courts C and D last time, but setup, I believe, was exactly the same. Just moved the wall. Okay, perfect. So, yeah, they could definitely. And you know what? But people will complain. Here's the thing. You go to a show, it's too packed. People are going to complain. It's too packed. You can't even move around. And then the next month, you charge $5 to get in. Oh, I can't believe this should be a free show. You shouldn't have to pay to get into this show. Like, Jesus Christ. So when things slow down and attendance is off, don't forget to pay the attendees. See how great America was. Got the Collectors Club email this morning, I believe. John says attendees don't benefit from higher attendance. Dealers do. Also, impose a fitness test for dealers. Those who score higher get tables first. That's the only way to keep America in fighting shape. Max says, correct. I'm about me. No show I do currently should change anything besides lower table prices. Right. Good luck. Saber Geek, Uncle Rich in the house. Have a great day. Thank you, sir. Max says, why does fitness have anything to do with cards? LOL. Just ignorant, old man. Uncle Rich says, Beckett raised the RCR prices at the last Dallas Card Show from 25 to 65. And guess what? The lines were out the freaking door and the wait was insane. See? America. You think PSA pricing is high now? Wait until ICE hits Orange County. PSA throttling times and fees is a smart business move. In my opinion, it's a necessity. I agree. 100%. Hey, your parking is cheap. It's $12 at the Dallas Card Show. They got a few more tables than me, though. Mark says, does anyone think the PSA upping charges also raises the values of PSA 10s? No, I do not. John says, Bitcoin down 24% this year. Please advise. Jamie says, I sent DC a message. I'll update you tonight during the auction. If you, by the way, if you sent them a message through eBay, they will not respond. I don't think they respond to eBay messages. So try to reach out. Go to their, I'm sure they have a website. Let me see. DCSports87.com. Okay, there you go. So, yeah, you can sign up as a customer. There's definitely a lot of information. Go to DCSports87.com. I don't know if you sent them a message through eBay or through the website, but definitely go through the website because they're like me. They will not answer eBay messages. I answer sometimes, but usually I just ignore it. Found Treasures. Good morning. What else? So we talked about PSA. We talked about card shows. Super Bowl was a snooze fest. Yeah, so Jamie, go to DCSports87.com. Jody says, so my father was a stagehand for TV. Going into work with him one Friday, and Ernie Ladd and Mil Mascaris are cutting a promo. That is the day I realized wrestling was BS, right? So Super Bowl was a kind of a snoozer. I was rooting for the Patriots because I think I had more. If the Patriots would have had the game the Seahawks had, I would have made twice as much on eBay Live than what I did. But I still did really well selling Kenneth Walker and Sam Darnold and even Jackson Smith. And really, to be honest, even Drake May was selling for what he's been selling for on previous lives, which I did not expect based on his performance. So I still did really well. So that was a fun night. Super Bowl Sunday. There was not much competition on eBay Live. There was only a couple other streamers. Viewership overall was down for a Sunday night. But when there's not much competition, guess what? Now, if there would have been 8 to 10 streams on, it would have been a tough night, just like it is any other time when there's a lot of competition. So we still need to see a lot of growth on that, which, I think we'll get there. eBay Live will get there. So just gotta keep being consistent, going live. I'm trying to go live. Ideally, I'd like to go every single night, but I'm just not as a one-man show. I don't know if I have the bandwidth to do that. But I do have the bandwidth to do it 6 days a week. Now, once we get into the summer months, that's going to be obviously spring training is going to be tough. I'm certainly not going 6 nights a week during spring training. I'm hoping to do ideally 3 to 5 shows while I'm in Arizona. That's ideally. So we'll see how that pans out. So eBay Live was great. Super Bowl Sunday. I love doing watch along type programming because there's an audience for that. People love. We've seen it on Twitter. You go to Twitter and there's like everybody's talking. Everybody wants to share their opinion. Why do I do this show? Not every day anymore, but I used to do this show every day. Why? Because I want to tell you about my opinion. And most people do. Hey, if you're here, you probably have an opinion to share. If you're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, you have an opinion, especially on Facebook, boy. Them boomers had opinions. Them boomers had opinions on that Super Bowl halftime show. We want to share those opinions. So, and just like we want to have community. Half the people are going to agree and say that the Super Bowl halftime show was awesome and great. And then the other half are going to be yelling at the clouds, I'm not watching this. Then watch the other one. There's a lot of alternative programming. If you're complaining about the Super Bowl halftime show, go take a shit, man. Just go take a dump. There's lots of alternatives you can do. You are not being waterboarded and forced to watch the Super Bowl halftime show. But every single year, it doesn't matter who the performer is. There's going to be people that bitch and complain, and you even had the alternative to something you like on another channel. Watch that fucking shit. So it's just amazing. And you also, what I enjoy about reading some of the posts is you can tell who. I was a terrible student in school. I was a C and D student in school. And even I know Puerto Rico is part of the United States. Is you are a citizen of now, are they one of the 50 states? No, but they are a part of America. They're a part of the United States. They are US citizens. And it was baffling. Okay. It was baffling to me how many people were not aware of that. And you know what? We talked about this with PSA. We talked about this with card shows. We're going to talk about this with the Super Bowl. Guess what? The Super Bowl halftime show is about business. Everything in this world is about business, and they want to cater to the biggest crowd. The NFL wants to go global. Why do you think they're now playing games in Brazil, in England, and France, and Germany, and wherever else they're playing football games? Because they want to grow the game globally. And they want I'm sorry, but country music and Jesus doesn't really cater towards the world. But I'm blanking on his name. the guy that performed, Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny caters to a lot more people worldwide on a global basis. So, and if I'm sure the Turning Point show, I'm sure it was entertaining, as well. I didn't understand word Bad Bunny said, but I understood the message, and I thought the theatrics were great. It was entertaining. I was entertained. I watched it. I've watched pretty much every Super Bowl halftime show, with the exception of when MTV did the claymation shit. That was awesome. Like, that was great. I loved the what the hell was what was the claymation called on MTV? They did it for a couple of years. I thought it was awesome. Like, I was watching that. I think The Simpsons did a halftime show back in the 90s, like an alternative show as well. So, like, it is what it is. It's about a business. It's about business. It's just like card shows that raise your table prices and raise admission fees. It's like PSA, extending turnaround times and raising your prices. It's all about the business. So that's my thoughts on the Super Bowl. Let's go to the chat, because I'm sure that fired the chat up. Where are we at? Found Treasure says, I thought Super Bowl was great. Love a good defensive battle. Ernie's ringing that fucking bell. Max says, game was meh. I agree. Halftime was meh. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the halftime show, but is it my cup of tea? No, it's not my cup of tea. But what would be? You know, if Pearl Jam's my favorite band of all time. If Pearl Jam performed at halftime, if Pearl Jam, my favorite band on earth, performed at halftime, I would have enjoyed it less than Bad Bunny's performance. Because Pearl Jam, I love the music, but they're not going to put on a great show. They're going to put on a great show musically, but it's not going to be entertaining. It would be meh. Still amazed how many people are concerned with how others spend their time. Do we understand everybody has the freedom to do with their time whatever they'd like? Absolutely. And that's what's great about America. What I don't understand is that if you didn't like Bad Bunny, you watched it and then went to social media to complain about it. Like, you don't have, like, if it starts and you're like, I don't want to listen to this, turn the channel. There are alternatives. I mean, halftime is when halftime. I don't like although the commercials kind of suck too. The commercials aren't what they used to be. And I think that's just because I'm getting older and everything was better 20 years ago. That's just, when you get old, at some point in your life, things stop being good in the present. And you can only look back fondly on the past. And you forget about all the bad shit that happened in the past. You only focus on the good, and everything in the present sucks. And everything in the past was all unicorns and rainbows. And we just loved the past of our, whatever it was. I don't know where I was going with that tangent, but halftime show. I don't get it. I just don't understand why it's such a divisive, a Super Bowl halftime show. And it's so divisive across social media. Like, why can't you just turn the channel? There's thousands of channels, hundreds of thousands if you count the internet. Most people have smart TVs. Just turn on Netflix and chill. I've always used the halftime show, no matter who's performing. I've always used the halftime show as, I'm going to go take a shit if I have to, or take a piss. I'm going to go get a beer, get a snack or something. Like, that was halftime. That's when you utilize your time, because I didn't want to miss commercials. I didn't want to miss the game. It's like, fuck. Like, usually in a regular game, you want to miss the commercials. But now it's like, we watch the commercials are sometimes more enjoyable than the game. Gem City says, I agree. Watch along is different than trying to create the story every night. That's a good point. Yeah. Create a story. Yeah, that's a good point. Gem City, because it gives you like content. Like, it gives you content to talk about, and you can watch in, cheer and boo it together. Where tonight on a Tuesday night, it's going to be like, I'll have something in the background, just background. So I've got to carry the show. Where Super Bowl, I can let the Super Bowl carry the show. I agree. Let's see. Don't you dare put a raw card on display, you asshole. Uncle Rich says, am I the only person who really did not care about the halftime show? Well, judging by social media, there was a big contingency that didn't. I was home and did other things during that time. Puppy Bowl outdrew Kid Rock. There you go. I watched some of the Puppy Bowl. So did Ernie. Ernie was a fan of the Puppy Bowl. He enjoys watching puppies on TV. Michael Renicky, what's going on? I saw Michael on Sunday. Max says, I'm just hoping we never get some country bullshit. LOL. We did get some country bullshit one year, I think. That would not be entertaining. Jamie says, and I like country. Like, I listen to country music. I listen to just about everything. Honestly, full transparency, I enjoyed the halftime show. Never heard any of those songs that Bad Bunny sang, and I still enjoyed it. Jamie says, email has been sent. I didn't watch any of the Super Bowl or halftime. The wife and I did a rewatch on Big Bang Theory. There you go. John says, imagine signing on to a cause and being saddled with Kid Rock as your musical icon. Gem City says, anyone who has seen Little Giants knows about the annexation of Puerto Rico. Yes, good reference. Bad Bunny, a client of my company. We're going to make millions thanks to his patriotism. Orlando says Bad Bunny was bad. Rich says, be happy you missed Up with People. John says, I would have paid extra to have Orlando live translate Bad Bunny for me. Celebrity death match. Thank you. Max watched some of it, wasn't a fan, but not gonna bitch. Yeah, it's like, it is what it is. Like they can't cater, like the NFL. Here's the thing, and we all know this. If they put a country, half the people are going to love country music. Actually, it is a global audience, so a lot of it's probably going to be a lot less than 50% are going to enjoy a country halftime show. It's going to be a very small contingent of the viewing audience. But you get Bad Bunny. I mean, look at most downloaded. Just because if you say, I've never heard his songs, I've never heard of Bad Bunny, you are old. I am old. We are old. I think we can all safely say in this chat, we are all old. And the world has passed us by, guys. It's just that simple. Where are we at? Oh shoot, I missed a lot of chats. Let's see. Rich says, if you want to see what the old folks want, go to YouTube and see those halftime shows. There you go. If you understand the lyrics, you would be shocked. Red Light says, halftime show was a fucking joke. I thought it was great. I enjoyed it. I'd be happy with Bruno Mars doing every halftime show from here on out. Bruno did a great job. I enjoyed that show. I understand what Bad Bunny is saying more than I understand Eddie Vedder, right? Or Bob Dylan. Max says, now last year's halftime show might have been the best of my lifetime. Was Bruno last year? I want to look at past Super Bowl halftime shows. List of Super Bowl halftime shows. I mean, hey, it could have been the University of Arizona Symphonic Marching Band, like they got in 1967 at Super Bowl I. All right, let's skip ahead to modern days. Geez, scrolling down a lot. This is from Wikipedia. All right, so last year was... Oh, is that Kendrick Lamar? Kendrick Lamar. I don't think I enjoyed last year's. 2024 was Usher. (2023) was Rihanna. 2022 was Dr. No, 2022 was probably my favorite. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, Mary J. Blige, Kendrick Lamar. That was a great one. 2021 was The Weeknd. That was a good one. The Weeknd was a good halftime show. Shakira and J-Lo was in 2020. Oh, Bad Bunny was in that. Special guest Bad Bunny all the way 6 years ago. Maroon 5 in 2019. I was not a fan of that one. Justin Timberlake came back in 2018. Lady Gaga in 2017. Coldplay, Katy Perry, Bruno Mars. Oh, Bruno Mars was in 2014. Holy shit. All right. Enough of that. Gem City says, loved Benito. He's hilarious. But yeah, Ricky Martin. But Ricky Martin was maybe more my speed these days. I'm old. Orlando says, if he said it in English, he would be banned. I agree with Max. Last year was one of my favorites. Now I want to see. All right, let's ask ChatGPT. What was Bad Bunny's Super Bowl halftime lyrics translated to English? He opened with God Bless America in English and then listed several countries throughout the Americas in Spanish. At the end, he said in Spanish something that I can't pronounce, which translates to We're Still Here. He also held up a football inscribed with Together We Are America. Lyric meanings from performance songs. Yo Perio Soya means I twerk alone. The song is about dancing on your own terms and respecting that choice. DTMF roughly translates to feelings of nostalgia and wanting to cherish moments. I should have taken more pictures when I had you. I should have given you more kisses and hugs. I don't know. That doesn't sound bad. Titi me pregunto. Chorus means, hey, auntie asked me if I have a lot of girlfriends. Today I have one, tomorrow another. Ne Viol refers to New York and celebrates Puerto Rican identity and fun in the city. Valle Inolvidable means unforgettable dance, and lyrics reflects on remembering a past love and dance. Where are we at? Red Light says, I did not watch it. I went and sorted cards, so much better than the halftime show. John says, a few more eBay live sales and you'll be able to buy an ad spot in next year's Super Bowl. Found Treasure says, Ring Camera had a doozy of a commercial. I don't understand why this has been so controversial. Why is the Ring Camera commercial controversial? I don't remember watching it. It's about lost dogs, like finding lost dogs. I don't know. Explain it to me like I'm 10. Max says, but people don't. That's what I'm getting at. My feed, younger millennials and going to Madison for 4 years, is full of people saying you were racist if you didn't watch. Non-logic BS. Our president said Bunny sucked. Why wasn't he watching Kid Rock? That's a good point. Why wasn't he watching the alternative programming? Rip Tiger. I don't know who that is. NFL is undefeated. They know what they are doing. Absolutely. 100%. Stu, good morning. Kendrick. Last halftime show I watched was Gloria Estefan, the game I was at. Usually break time, right? Supposedly the lyrics were atrocious, but not sure how the hell would I know. There you go. So see, that's what happens. This is how America gets divided. Because of that second word, supposedly. We hear things based on, and it could be either side of the aisle if we want to get political. The people on the right, the people on the left, they're feeding certain things. And then all of a sudden, well, I heard on this channel or that channel. And then the word supposedly, and we start passing this information along. And we all get divided. Hope we get Nikki next year to even things out a little. 22 with Snoop was number 2 for me. Gaga and Perry were good too. Bruno was decent. I want a good show and something I can understand, not coming from an ignorant place saying that either. Just more enjoyable for me understanding it. I don't disagree with that. Would I rather, because I never took a single class in Spanish. I don't know any other foreign languages. But I would like to understand it, but I can still enjoy the artistry. This is very, very tame compared to true translation from what I have heard. Hispanics have more fun is what your lyrical interpretations. Ring cam controversial because people think they will be tracked now. Oh. Orlando says agree. Max. John says, Rip Tiger is a great porn name. Tiger was the dog with mobility issues at the Puppy Bowl. I toured with Gloria Estefan in 1988. Things were better back then, except the cards. There you go. All right, I'm going to go. I got to make some coffee. We got to get Ernie off to play with the puppies. Took 4 years of Spanish. Only learned tu madre es un puta. That's probably bad. Max took 5 years in high school, 1.5 in college, understood less than half. It's been a while, right? It's kind of like, for me, that's like fucking calculus. Oh, that bullshit. All right. Didn't understand it then. Don't understand it now. All right. Have a good day. I am on eBay Live tonight. We're going to go live at 7:30 Central. eBay Live tonight. I've got leftovers from the weekend. I've got some slabs. I've got bargain box stuff. I've got packs. Picked up a whole bunch of good packs on Sunday. So we're going to have some fun. All right. I'm going to go. Have a great day. See you tonight.